her aunt works at this tech company, and she's like, hey, we've developed this AI companion doll, this AI friend. Yeah, it's like my buddy, kid's sister. Y'all remember? You don't? Doesn't matter. That meets AI. There you go. Now she has a friend. And from there, it's pretty much the plot. It's like this movie's a remake of the Child's Play remake that came out a couple years ago. However, unlike in the case of Child's Play, where Brad Dourif's voice is inseparable from the character. If you don't have Brad Dourif voicing Chucky, you don't really have the spirit of Child's Play. Megan is new. Megan can be whatever she wants. And this movie was actually really good at having the audience feel about Megan how they should probably feel about their phone. Always watching, always listening. Everyone in the room should be terrified of that fact. And they actually played that up well. And I gotta say, if this is a movie where you're like, all right, sweet, little AI doll robot's gonna kill a lot of people and that's gonna be fun, this really isn't that kind of movie. Maybe it's because the movie's PG-13. I do feel like the movie was probably, if I found out this movie was filmed to be rated R, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. There are a couple of moments where you read the lips of someone, you're like, that is not what they said. They probably said something that would bring this a little closer to R. A couple of moments like that, a couple of audio edits where you're like, those feel like two different sentences that have been stitched together or someone cut a word out. But it's January, we gotta get more asses in the seats, so PG-13, let's cut it back. Would not be shocked if that were the case. However, if that was the case, I'd love to see a director's cut, if the rated R cut that maybe might have been filmed. That long-winded tangent brings me back around to my original point is, this movie really isn't the whole AI doll kills a lot of people bloodbath that you might think it is. I mean, it ends up happening at the end, and it is fun when it happens, but it's not the point of the movie. But that, I feel, is when this movie was at its strongest. It's when it starts elevating its premise. This movie actually has an incredible message to its core about human connection. The dangers of using technology as a parental crutch, the emotional developmental skills for a child that get lost in that execution, that's something that's far scarier than AI killing people that we may or may not have to deal with in the year 2050 something, because that's something that's very real now. I was actually really impressed this film dealt with such heavy subject matter. You're actually pretty invested with the emotional state of this child and how Megan's actually bad for the kid on an emotional level. The kid thinks Megan is great, but kids would think that cake and ice cream for every meal of the day is great. So there's that. And the last act happens, and at times it is silly. I mean, the movie actually is silly. I'm not just talking about the fact that Megan stole my dance moves. This movie actually does have, we'll say, some tonal conflict. You just want to line up everybody, the cast members, and be like, all right, raise your hand. Who here thinks they're in a comedy? Who here thinks they're in a serious horror film? Who here thinks they're in an emotional film about family and human connection? Yep, those are all different hands. And something like that doesn't have to feel like it's in 3 movies. It just did in this one. It just didn't feel like it flowed smoothly. Also, I feel like this movie could have been 15 minutes shorter. Thereabouts. But in the end,
Alright, subscribe to my channel. Click like on this video.
Ready, man. I was like,
I'll see you later.
Megan, let's shut on a bad PG-13 horror. Wow. I actually enjoyed that. For completely different reasons than